Hi, welcome to MTG. My name is Ken, and today we are going to find out if my paper Rocco Street Chef deck translates from paper to arena. So in doing this video, I really wanted to test and see what my building style was on arena versus in paper and see if those two kind of overlap a little bit. I feel like you can quite easily take an arena deck and play it in casual paper commander. You will probably just be running a lot more removal and a little bit more protection. I wasn't too sure about playing a paper commander and bringing that into arena. So doing this, I tried to keep this deck as true to the real actual deck as possible. I have, I think, a stack of almost 30 cards here that are all in my deck and also on arena. The land base is quite similar as well. And for the cards that are not on arena specifically, I tried to just swap them in with something that was quite comparable to try and keep it as true to form as possible. So consider this a test to see if your in paper building skills can match and keep up with the meta that is arena Historic Brawl. I will not tell you my outcome or what I thought of it right now. I'm going to save that for the end of the video, but I will let you know that the deck list for both my in paper version of this deck and my Brawl version will be in the description if you want to compare yourself and kind of see the choices I made separately. I hope you enjoy this. I think this is probably going to be a series I'm going to start doing because I have a few commanders that are on arena that I could very much kind of translate into an arena deck for my paper deck. So let me know if that interests you, and without further ado, let's just jump into the gameplay. Okay, going up against a Greasefang. I don't remember the last time. I don't even think I know what Greasefang does. So let's yeah, this is keepable. We're missing our white mana, but what does Greasefang do at the beginning of your combat? You turn return a vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, so it's a vehicles deck. That's kind of cool. Go for the elves. Hopefully we hit a white source. We do hit a white source. It is a tapped white source. So do we just get that out of the way now, I suppose? And we put out the hardened scales. No attacks. Yeah, all our mana is tap mana, unfortunately. Just how it's gotta go. Ooh, incubation druid though. That will help quite a bit. Yeah, we'll swing in this time. Take that. 1 damage. Hopefully we can get the code on Rocco before they die. We will see. Greasefang. Do we care about... I don't think we care quite yet. Okay, let's go. Put down a land. Go for the commander. We won't attack. Okay, we got a land for next turn. That's kind of nice. What did they hit? Born to Drive. I did not know that card existed. Alright, yep, this is a vehicles deck. Alright. I'm cool with that. Crew 3. Oh, because it's summoning sickness. Of course. Ooh, I should have probably went for Pia first. That was a mistake. That's okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. We will swing in. That way we have swords mana and the mithril coat mana. Alright. And our land drops is about the best thing we want with Rocco. It's just, you know, it's like a Prosper deck. There's no better feeling than hitting the land, just knowing that you're going to hit your land drop next turn. Feels good. We like that. Okay, going for a Radius Carve and attacks and top 3 of your library. So I assume they're going to crew the barge, so are they going to swing with it though? Okay, we will swords the barge when it gains 5, but that's fine. All right, so let's go Kia first and not make the same mistake. Now we'll play our land. We'll have Pia trigger first. Oh, apparently it doesn't matter. Incubation Druid, thank you. And we'll keep that on top. That's a good thing to hit. All right. We will swing 1, 2, 3. We do have the Besage mana up, which is nice. Opponent hits a Bone Shards. Okay, so we are going to be losing something maybe? Oh. That's very good in this deck. Okay, so they get their 3 best vehicles. Do have the Besage up though. Building this on Arena, I kept every single card. If a card was on both Arena and in my deck, I put it in here. A couple I had to kind of make up for because there's obviously some. All right, Sky Sovereign, Thundersteel Colossus, and Parhelion. Those are some good. Those are some good things to hit. Okay, we're going for the Parhelion. Let's Sage it now. Like I was saying, there's just a couple, you know, cards that are from commander sets or whatnot. So I've had to kind of slot in a couple things that wouldn't normally be in this deck. And weirdly enough, Pia is one of them. But, I mean, Pia is just an all-star, so I might maybe swap. We might update the paper deck a little bit, because so far I've been really liking what's going on here. Okay, passing. Turn. Alright, so we Crisis averted there. Send down the Augur. We will... Let's beef up our Thopter. Now we should be able to start casting stuff off the top. Unfortunately, we did not hit a creature. That's okay. We do have the Hidden Volcano, which actually I think I might do. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Swing in. Opponent has something. So I think, as mean as it is, we have to hit the Greasefang now because they are just going to get one of these back. Okay. Drawing 3 cards. That's pretty good. Can't be mad at that. Okay, down to 14. Is it worth doing the Hidden Volcano for a Ozolith? I don't know. We'll do it anyways. And discover 4, hit the Ozolith. Put that onto the battlefield. Trigger. Let's put the counter on. This is beef up this one Thopter. Okay. Land and land. That's kind of scary. Greasefang comes back. They have... They can crew their thing, the Raider. Ooh. Okay, Parhelion is back. Can't do anything about it this time, so they get an angel. 2 angels. Ooh, God. Well, thankfully we have a flying blocker. So we will hit you and take 8 damage. We might need to start cracking these foods, I think. Okay, down to 17. Things have gotten a little more scary. The Parhelion back in their hands, so if they want it again, they're going to have to... Ooh! Okay, let's do this. Oh. Well. I mean, we can't not. Is the opponent gonna scoop? I hope not. I love all the triggers that happen. Ooh, path on top. Surge. Those are kind of whiffs. Still gonna cast it because we still get the. Do we exile Greasefang? Let's see. I think that angels are kind of a problem now, to be honest. Okay, a million triggers. Yeah, Lelia. And then we'll do it. Opter. Yep. Deadly disputing the angel. That's a-okay. They miss out on a land. But I think the deadly dispute is probably a bit better. They're looking at our stuff. Oh, alright. Well, we got there. GG's. Okay, we're going up against Bonny, Pall, Clearcutter. I'm trying to answer the age-old question, does my paper deck hold up in Arena? So we're going to find that out. Opening hand, I quite like this. Quintorius might be my favorite card in Rocco. I mean, I have a lot. Like, I have a lot of favorite cards in this deck, but Quintorius is just... Oh, it's so good. I could go on all day about this card. Fable Passage, we're definitely going to want to go fetch up a red source. And then turn 2, we can go for Pia and kind of test the waters. We're up against Simic, so they do be countering. Okay, Passage. Yeah, definitely want a red source. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see this deck translated digitally because it's been one of my absolute favorites for a long time now. Since it came out, I had this deck built like weeks after the card came out, so it's just been an absolute joy to get to play in paper, and now we get to see it in Arena. And without bearing the lead too much, I actually think this deck holds up quite well considering, you know, the meta, the aggressiveness, the kind of fast pace of Arena. I've been quite happy with the way this deck has performed. We're gonna go for Rocco. I think we have a lot of good stuff on our hand right now, and in exile. So I think Anim Pakal is another one that is actually added only to Arena, just to replace one of my Mythweaver. I guess I should know on that. They did exile that. We're gonna go for Rocco. It was added to replace essentially a card that's not in Arena, but this is another one I might have to throw into the actual deck and see. Looted Delta times 2. That's 2 looted deltas. So if we go for Anim, we can't go for the Kami. And I want to go for the Kami, because we will need a chump, block, and Thopter. Trademark. And we get more foods. We'll go for the Cavern. We'll choose your Elf Druid. Nothing else shares here. We'll go Druid. No attacks. So they didn't... Okay, they are gonna... God, Pocket's just so good. You don't see that in paper. Literally. Okay, they are ramping like crazy. Oh, though we did hit the Knights of Sweet's Revenge, which is gonna ramp us pretty much on par with, I think, what they're going to be getting with the box. So, not mad at that, assuming we get to resolve it. This card does kind of go under the radar quite a bit. Nobody really knows what it is. Okay, Time Warp. Well, I'm just going to talk more about my cards. Yeah, fantastic in food decks, and not much else, but in a deck like Rocco, this card's an all-star. Also having the kind of pseudo overrun effect. I mean, it doesn't give trample, but it's still. I mean, you have the first ability, the second one's just kind of cherry on top. Opponent is creating all the lands in the world. Wait, they fetched 2 basics with a primeval? That's kind of an interesting choice. Okay, this is why we made the Thopter. It's a blocker Thopter. It's a chump Thopter. Chumpopter. Okay, we need to think about this because we're kind of getting in the danger zone. Quintorius, we want the knights that will net us some additional mana. Is there sequencing? Well, the Kami does tap as well. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go for this. We're gonna put a counter on the Kami. Decline to draw. Or to pay, sorry. Hopefully that doesn't bite me. Alright, so now we have a bit more mana to work with. We're gonna play our land. We have our chump blocker. We could go for the Hopeful Initiate. We're gonna go for Quintorius. I've been going on about this card. Might as well let it do its thing. Boots! I'll take boots. Get triggers. We'll put the counter on you. Well, auto pay. Yeah, now we essentially are just have restrict study triggers for the rest of eternity. What do we want to protect? I'm gonna actually choose a Kami because it's gonna tap for quite a bit of mana, and I don't want to lose that mana. I think we're gonna lose Quintorius. Oh, but we hit the lightning bolt. That's pretty good as well. Or as I like to call it, the fireball, because I don't know why. I do not know why I call it fireball. Yes, fireball vibes. Ooh. Is this game? Are they gonna -7? They are. Okay. So I think that's lethal. I could be wrong. That might be lethal. 23. Yeah, unfortunately. Yep. No blocks. That's alright. We gotta do some fun things. We gotta cast Quintorius. I can't be too upset. Alright, well, GG's. Against Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. It would be fitting that we face this card in the video all about playing my favorite paper cards. Because Tezzeret's one of my favorite paper cards. Farewell might be handy for artifacts. Let's stay tuned and find out. Okay. I'll go you first. We have the Signet, which is nice. Yeah, I have a Brea deck, which is less about playing Brea and more just about all my favorite artifacts and artificer cards. And Tezzeret is my absolute favorite win con in that deck. So I am happy to lose by the hands of Tezzeret. Down the Temple. Razor Verge. I don't think we want that. Right, Jetmir's Guard. Well, it's a slightly better tapped land. Was hoping for a non-tapped land, but here we are. Sacrifice it. Search your library for 2 basics. Reveal them. Put them on the battlefield tab. Oh, 1 on the belt. That's really good. I like that card. Well, we'll go like this. Let's not tap our green source, please. Please and thank you. Go for you. Put the counter. That gives us a treasure token. Cameo safekeeping. So that's pretty good. And we get Kadama off the top. Ooh, I'd love to see that. Question is, what does the opponent have to block us? Or do they have River's Rebuke? I would take that right now. Better now than way later. Surgical Metamorph. Enters as a copy of a permanent on the battlefield. Ooh, we're gonna have so many Rocco triggers. That could be fun. Well, they're deciding. I would go for Rocco. I mean, 2 Roccos? How fun would that be? Ah, we got more Roccos. Sweet. All right. Counters galore. Oh, and we get the Mithril Coat. Well, let's go for that now. Wait, why did yours trigger first? I wanted mine to trigger first. Right. Sweet. I mean, I guess it's slightly annoying that they have a Rocco out. Not gonna lie. But this, let's see. Yeah. Put the counter anew. Enemy Rocco gets counters as well. That's fine. We get treasure. That's cool. All right. We will swing with both of our creatures. Let's give indestructible. I might use it. No, I think the hexproof is probably no blocks. Wow. Okay, well, we get 2 lands. I was not expecting that. Let's see. We will go a green and a, let's go for a white. Yeah. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Right? We have 4 mana. That plots for 4. I think we end the turn. I want to keep this Tameo safekeeping mana up. This is an interesting turn of events. So we'll target you to give us treasure. Sweet. The nice thing is we do have the better synergy. Obviously, we built the deck around it, but having them exiling more stuff is honestly perfectly fine with me. That's 3 and a half. Okay. 3, 4, 5 mana. So we could, in theory, 1, 3. Ooh, Chromatic Ori. That is a good card. Into a Mystic Forge. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Mystic Forge. I mean, Farewelling Artifacts. Is there a better time to do that? Possibly not. Creature to return all creatures. Okay. So. How do we want to do this? We're going to lose our foods. We're going to lose a mithril coat. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. 11 mana. 12 mana. So we definitely want to sack our treasures. Get a food, get a treasure. We'll sack you for a white. And we'll sack you for a green. Because the counters on their thing is not going to matter because they're going to lose it because it's an artifact. We're going to lose our signet as well, which is kind of sad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Resolve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How much of my videos is just me counting out my mana constantly? Probably a lot. 2 1 counters on it. Amazing. And then whenever counters, blah blah blah. Cool. White. White. Artifacts, and we'll hit graveyards. Yes. Do we get a concession? Hopefully not. Okay, we got the concession. Well, I mean, it's hard to come back from a farewell. Also not my paper deck, just for the record. I don't play in paper. GG's. All right, so we're here with my arena-fied paper Rocco Street Chef deck. Like I said in the intro, I really tried to replicate this as best as possible. So what it is, I took every card that was available on Arena, I put it in this deck, and then the ones that were, you know, like kind of commander specific or just not on Arena, I kind of filled in with some other cards that are comparable, I would say. So, like we do with everything, we're going to go category by category. I'm going to try and go fast because I could talk about all these cards till the end of time because I adore this deck, but we're going to go fast and we're going to try and get through this under 5 minutes. We'll see. So in case you don't know, Rocco Street Chef is a 2/4. At the beginning of your end step, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play a card they exiled this way. Whenever player plays a land from exile or casts a spell from exile, I put a 1/1 counter on target creature and I create a food. So those are two very important things. The first, putting the 1/1 counters on, is kind of the majority of, I would say, what I built around, but I kind of try to spread it evenly. So this first category is all creatures that want 1/1 counters on them. Esper Sentinel, you want that power high because you will draw more cards, they won't be able to pay it. Hopeful Initiate is enchantment artifact removal. Warden, as well as Voice of the Blessed, kind of similar. The more counters, the better they get. Dusk Legion Duelist lets you draw cards when you put a counter on. Axe Guard does that, but with creating treasures instead. Incubation Druid and Kami are similar, where as long as it has 1 counter, it taps for 3 mana, and this taps for mana equal to its power. Or in Reef Ooze, this is a kind of arena ad. This one just gives all your things +1/+1 counters, so it just seems really good in this deck. Anim Pakal is an add to this, though I will probably be putting this in my paper deck because I think it's fantastic. It lets you buff up Anim Pakal big enough that we just get like 1,000,000 gnomes, all kinds of fun stuff. Alan Elena puts other counters on things based on their power, so it's just like counters everywhere. Same with the Sovereign, Onik Ahau. I think that's right. Again, just counters on everything. It gets crazy fast. Railway Brawler, same effect, just counters everywhere. Sanctuary Warden is great because it lets you draw cards, also gives you little chump blockers as well, and you just need to remove any counter, so you can move those +1/+1 counters. The second category is just things that add counters, essentially. Hardened Scales, Ozolith, Bristly Bill, so good. It's a recent add into my paper deck and I adore it. You're just getting so many counters with this thing, and this doubles your counters for 5 mana, which is win con. Other Ozolith, I should say, Botanical Brawler, Yoshin Descendant, gets counters when artifacts enter, and there's a lot of artifacts entering because there's food in this deck. All good stuff. Most of these are in my paper deck. This is my Exile Matters / exiling things cards, Friends Resolve. If Rocco's not out or I need a bit of a jump start, this card comes in handy. PNLR is a similar effect, but you get Thopters instead of counters and food. Lelia, I mean, it goes in every XL deck. It's just really good. This I've had in my paper deck for a little while now, and it's garnered me quite a bit of value. You put a lot of counters on it. You tap 2 artifacts, so you're tapping 2 foods. It's very powerful with Rocco, especially when you start getting foods out. And this Caparocti Sunborn, hopefully I said that right. They get big enough that you can just swing without worry every turn. Bone Horde, I mean, you know that card. Larganasari, I don't know. This one's alright in this deck. Quintorius, though, my god, I adore this card, and it's my... I was saying in one of the games, it's probably my favorite card in this deck. It's just so good, and oh, it just synergizes so well with Rocco. Now, Feshi, you just get twice of everything you get from Excel, which is busted and broken. Etali, sorry. I mean, we don't need to talk about that. We'll just pretend that's not here. These care about foods. We have Gilded Goose, Manadork, that cares about foods. Peregrine lets you turn your foods into card draw. Sparking Statuary turns all your foods into sort of like mana rocks. Same with the Knights of Sweet's Revenge. Super underrated card, but very niche. This turns all your foods into like tap, add green mana, but also you can put a bunch of power on the board if you have a lot of foods. It's, it's niche, but it's super good in this deck. Eleanor, if you sack a food, you get to fetch up a land. Thousand Moon Smithy just creates big gnomes. And then if you flip it, then you get more big gnomes. And it's super easy to flip because you have so many artifacts. This is a hidden artifact deck. Typical. It's me. What do you expect? These cards care about just having either lots of counters or having different powers. Kodama, you get lands. You can't go wrong with that. Augur, 3 creatures with 3 different powers. You get to play off the top of your library. Selvala is a very similar. Taps for mana equal to the different power among creatures you control, which is pretty easy to kind of manipulate and get the most value out of that. And then all will be one. You get to kind of just ping things because you're putting a lot of counters on things. This next category is just my ramp package. Not too much to note here. Great Henge. It's in my paper deck. I love this card. It's expensive though. Oh gosh. This is my removal. Final Showdown is a new card I'm playing around with paper. Kind of getting a feel for it. I really like it on Arena, so I think I'll have a similar effect in paper. Farewell, I notably don't run Farewell or Teferi's Protection in my paper decks, so these are ads specifically for Arena. Protection stuff, typical, normal things. Mithril Coat, I don't really think I need it as much in paper because usually your opponents are like, yeah, I'll take the extra card value. But in Arena, they want Rocco gone immediately, like on site. So I just had a little bit of extra protection for that case. And then in the lands, I have these 2 hidden Volcano, hidden Courtyard. I was supposed to have the 3rd one, but I think I like in a Tired Stupid put in the Hunter's Maze instead. It's just kind of like here's a little bit of extra exile value if you need that. But that's the deck. I absolutely loved playing it on Arena. My test games, some of the test games I had were just absolutely bonkers. I think I was still able to get some good value and good footage with what I did tonight. But again, I love this deck in paper. I love it on Arena. If you have any interest in it, I highly, highly, highly recommend you play it, especially with Exile having so much support and just constantly. This deck gets new cards like every other set. So I really enjoy it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you would leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. That would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you next time.